It's Momo Monday, and we have Delilah with us this Momo Monday, right, honey? Yeah, Delilah doesn't come on camera much because she's normally quite grumpy, but she's in a less grumpy mood today, so we're shooting with Delilah, right? Yeah, and let's bring the microphone closer, Delilah, so we can do our breathing. Ready, Delilah? Breathe in. And out. And breathe in. Yeah. And out. And you can see Delilah really has her own opinions. She's quite vocal. And that's why I thought that she was a good one to do this video with. And she's very cute in a grumpy bum kind of way, aren't you? Yes, Missy. But yeah, but I wanted to talk today a little bit more about this whole YouTube freak out about high profile YouTubers having opinions that the rest of us don't like. And after I made my video, well, I made the video on Wednesday for Friday, and I've been thinking about this since and reading comments and all that stuff. And I came to the realization that there's another element of this, that people are not using entertainment just as entertainment, just as something to watch and get a chuckle out of, or to be informed, or whatever. People are using entertainment to validate their identity. Right, Delilah? Right. And Delilah doesn't care about anybody else's opinion but Delilah, right? That's why she is so grumpy. And yeah. And you gotta be careful. Yes, honey. Yes. Okay, we'll turn you around. Yeah. Grumpy. Yeah. Hi. And you gotta be careful using media to validate yourself. Because if it does that, great. But speaking from experience, it often doesn't. And you're going to walk around being pretty miserable if you expect to constantly see people like you in entertainment. It's the big question, and this is a massive one in video games. Should entertainment reflect me? And some people, yes, Delilah, should entertainment reflect me? Or should entertainment reflect a wide cross-section of people, and especially in interactive entertainment, allow me to be anybody I want to be, not just, validating and special snowflaking myself. And Link is here with me now. Yeah, we're going to do a cross-section of Link. Look at the camera. Say hi. Yeah. Yeah. Link's a bit of a scaredy cat. No, honey, it's okay. But that's him, and we let him be him. But this whole thing about media having to reflect regular people is actually a fairly new thing. There he is with his cutie face. Yeah, okay, not his thing right now. Storytelling has that. That's more accurate. Was originally about these big, broad, larger-than-life heroes in stories. So they stood 9 feet tall and could rip out a tree with their bare hands, and it was not about regular Joe Lunchbox America, right? America didn't even exist. And our idea of stories about commoners kind of got going with Shakespearean comedies. I'm distracted because Link is chewing on a box of cereal, and I don't quite understand why he's doing that, but Link is special. I have Scout now. Here we are. Scout's my gamer boy. Yeah, he likes the cursor on various point-and-click games, right? So he beats up Civilization, and he beats up RimWorld. Here's the Scout. Yeah! But, oh, sniff. But, yeah, so I was saying that this idea about media and stories being about regular people is a fairly new thing. Video games have tried real hard. Remedy has done its best with different types of characters like Alan Wake and the characters from Quantum Break, who are more writers and scientists than traditional action heroes. But it's really hard within these established forms of media to do stuff about real people. Enter YouTubers who have the same appeal to them that I'm dating and geographically placing myself here, but they have the same appeal as the old Much Music VJs did back in the day in Canada, where they are people that didn't seem super glossy, they didn't seem super shiny, they seem like people who could be your friends. Get break! Whoa! Good flip, Scout. And that is a very different form of media that takes a very different role. And a lot of people are using YouTube, especially the interactive components in YouTube, to be a friend substitute instead of just a we'll watch it and get a bit of enjoyment out of that and that's it. We expect no more from it. It's a very different way of consuming linear media. YouTube is kind of this in-between thing where you can leave a comment but you can't actually impact what's going on screen. So it's still kind of one-way communication to get very McLuhan-esque on you here. But there's an instantaneous feedback process that I think is great, but we need to understand these forms of media in order to use them efficiently. Get break. And I think a lot of these YouTubers, because they are exceptionally popular, and they got popular before sort of the intense corporatization of YouTube, that they're still learning what that popularity means. And sometimes they can say outrageous things and be rewarded for it. And other times they do things and people go, no, too far. And there's certain social taboos. I talked about this in the video on Friday, that YouTubers violate regularly, especially gaming YouTubers. There's a lot of violation of taboo in gaming. Before I talk about this, I need another cat. Okay, here's Zelda. Yeah, Zelda's our action hero, and Zelda loves tinfoil. Look, Zelda, the greatest thing in the whole world. Okay? Yeah, we can get Zelda to stay still just by offering her tinfoil. And oh, here comes Bobby, too. Bobby loves the tinfoil as well. 2 cats for the price of 1. But, yeah, violating gamer taboos or violating societal taboos through gaming is actually a important and uniquely misunderstood part of gamer culture. And see, Zelda is playing a game right now. She wants that foil ball. Come on here, Zelly. 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 Foil. There she is. Take it. Take it. Come on. Both hands. Both hands. I know you can do it. Come on. Both hands. Grab it. Yep. There you go. But yeah, the Scout, get your tail out of the camera. But Scout, say hi if you're going to stick your tail in the camera. Hi, people. Hello. Yeah. Right, Scout? Yeah, Scout has jaws of death. You do not want him biting you. A huge part of gaming as a medium is freedom and choice. And in order to have free will, you must have the opportunity to do bad things as well as good things. See, Momo is not here by choice right now. He is here because I have thumbs and can pick him up. Right, Momo? Yeah. See, he's looking for his escape route. Yeah. Yeah. He did that by choice. In games like, you know, Grand Theft Auto, the taboo of stealing cars and running people over and everything like that, it's fun because it's not real, because you don't have to empathize with a digital person. And so this doesn't mean that people want to run people down with cars in the real world. It is a completely different paradigm. If I have an opportunity to play this Pug Ugly Tank character and go around, boom, you know, bash through doors. Shale in Dragon Age was in my party all the time. I loved Shale. I wish the Iron Bull was less of a lying dick. But he was what he was. Because I love monsters. Now, do I make myself look like a monster in real life? No, but I like living in another skin. I like that just taking up all that space. Mozilla, the big boy. Oh, I eat all the things. I am huge Momo. I am giant round ball cat. I am the Molax. I am the largest kitty cat Pokemon. Momo. The violation of taboo is an important element of not just what makes games fun, but it is a core element of the gamer identity or the gamer philosophy, if you will, more actively. Test, try it out, explore, do it for yourself. Don't tell me how to do it. Give it to me and let me figure out how I want to do it. That freedom to self-discover is integral to the philosophy of interactive entertainment. And this is where gamers differ from people with different motivators, different philosophies. And this is where a lot of the clash between what many gamers see as political correctness, and it's really not, it's an attempt to control media. There's a lot of money in media. Keep this in mind. This isn't just a culture war, this is a financial war as well. Cat break. The problem is that the gamer philosophy has been stigmatized. It's been seen as bad or harmful, or it's going to make people violent, or it's going to make people sexist. And of course, none of this stuff is true. But it got into the bloodstream of the media before the studies could come out that showed it wasn't true. But you have to remember that as a rule, gamers are people where the societal definitions of ideal man, for instance, don't work for them very well. And the depictions of themselves they see in other media is as these nerdy losers who never get the girl. And a lot of people, as we get older, we're like, wait a minute, what media tells me my experience should be is not what my experience actually is. It's worse if it actually is the experience that people have, because then it sort of feels like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Cat break. Oh no! Is violation of taboo a core component of the gamer philosophy? I think it is. I think I have that in common with many other gamers. I just think the taboos I choose to violate are different. I want to violate the boobs are dirty taboo. That's the one I don't like. That's the one I feel is unfair. Society's telling me that there are elements of that that are wrong and dirty and slutty and all that stuff. And I have issues with that. And so those are the taboos I violate. When I get a chance to create my own character, her boobs and her butt are as big as they possibly can be, and she usually looks like Nicki Minaj. Why? Because that's precisely the kind of woman that's like, oh, that's some ratchet ass hoe sort of thing in the real life. Well, pfft. And I'm like, how is that any different than the taboos that other types of gamers are violating? None at all. It may seem less violent to some people, but it is still a taboo. It is still something I think is arbitrary and unfair, and I am using games to stomp all over, just in a dialogue with the self, reminding me that just because society says something's wrong doesn't mean it's going to seem wrong in, 15 years. Special Victims Unit can deal with rape every single week, but consensual sex? Oh God, that's dirty. And so what do gamers do? Look, it looks like, moo. It's childish, but it's fun. People more and more are using games to have a dialogue with themselves that they can't have through unstructured play in the real world. And human beings cannot hear themselves think if they're watched every minute of the day. Humans as autonomous beings need that brain breathing space. When you're alone with yourself, you know who you really are. And So I think that bleeds into the JonTron thing, the PewDiePie thing, the Colin Moriarty thing. They violated taboos in a gamer way, and if it was done in just a chat session or something like that, people probably wouldn't think anything of it. But they did it in a vehicle that people who are not gamers saw. My children watch this. And my thought is, my God, if you're using YouTube as a babysitter, I can almost guarantee you your kids have seen way worse than PewDiePie and JonTron. The beautiful thing about YouTube is people can put anything they want on it, but unless your 10-year-old is some next level critical thinker, yeah, may not be ready for the norm on YouTube. Cat break. There's a deficit of programming for kids 10-ish to about 16, because by the time they're 16, let's face it, they're playing M-rated games. I know I was. I know you're not supposed to get them till you're 18, but kids at 16 are playing M-rated games. But those 6 years, kids are desperate to watch something that's challenging them and not talking down to them and all, okay kids, let's all be friendly and sing the Friends and Happy song. I love you. You like, bleh. Kids by the time they hit about 10 know the world is not all love and roses, right? If you program for families, which companies like Disney successfully do, you get around that problem, and then you can actually create some IPs that make some money, because mom likes it for one reason and dad pretends not to like it but chuckles when he watches it anyway, and the kids like it for different reasons. I mean, why do you think Frozen became so huge? Cat break. Unfortunately, the outrage police have made this more and more difficult, because unless you're Disney, who can just go, you don't like it, suck it. We've been doing this for enough years that we know what we're doing by now. Thank you very much. If you're a smaller company, you have to worry about the outrage police impacting you. And so there is not enough content for an inquisitive 10-year-old. And when I think about what I was exploring at that age, I was reading The Lord of the Rings, which nowadays, oh, it's so violent. I remember they kept trying to force things like Sweet Valley High and Heidi on me, and I was like, oh God, no. Like, no. I'd go for the Choose Your Own Adventure, the Time Machine books. Oh God, the Time Machine book where you could go back to the dinosaur age. Like, yes, more of that. Space Vampire and Choose Your Own Adventure. Yeah. I mean, that was when I was making a Day of the Triffids board game. Dog break. This is like the affirmative action of Momo Mondays. Right, Loki? But you have no problem with the camera. There's the camera, Loki. Amazing. Was PewDiePie's content ever intended for kids? I don't think so. Was JonTron's content intended for kids? I don't think so. The fact that kids are flocking to these things on YouTube means they're bored. We got into this when we did youth programming. You know what? If you're too soft, kids don't feel like you're authentic. Because when you're 10 or 11, I mean, it starts that young. Life is starting to get really hard. You're already being confronted with very difficult choices. They're not even necessarily looking for role models. They're looking for friends. They're looking for, like, peers on the internet. Because even role model is like, role model. You hear so much about that it's not fun anymore. Why don't I have 9 dogs? Oh, right, I'd have to clean up your poo. Right? Yeah. The people with the money who are not gamers, who are paying for this content, may be playing to stereotypes and developing the very people that perpetuate these negative stereotypes about gamers. But there's also an element where there are elements of gamer philosophy that are never going to be understood by the rest of the world. And I don't think those should change to please non-gamers. I think we should strive to be good people. But gamers are going to define for ourselves what that means. The problem is, how do we connect with those young people, usually misunderstood people, that we all were at one point? We all know what that's like, and I think we all kind of want to reach out and pull these kids in and hold them close because we know that feel, right? But we have to get around the parents who have an unprecedented amount of control over the content that their kids watch now. And I don't have the answer to this conundrum. This is something we're going to have to work on. This is something we're going to have to figure out. But the first step is not inherently demonizing the gamer identity. And with that, I'm going to go get another cat so we can close this segment out. Sound good? Sound good. Binky, who's the least zen cat I have to do our closing zen breathing. Binky, you're going to behave or are you going to shred my arm? Let's find out. Ready? Breathe in. And out. And breathe in. And out. Vicky. Yeah. Yeah. That's just noise, right? Everybody thinks you're vicious. But look, you're being held like a baby. Yeah, you're not so mean, right, Binky? Right? Look. Hugs. Yes, you're very tough. Yes, you are. I just don't want people to think you're mean, Binky. You're just noisy, right? Mwah. Right, buddy? Yeah. Mwah. 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 Good, Binky. Yeah, yes, you're very macho.